Oh, you're live. We're live. Okay, so mm, first playthrough of Ducky Simulator. Is this going to be good background? Whatchamacallit? That the multiplayer? We got school down. Oh, cannon? Uh, well, we got duck found. Okay. Just watching a duck. That is in Kaya Street. Okay. Uh, okay. So, we're gonna test to make sure stickers are working. Okay. So, sticker. Dune stickers. What can we do? So we gotta make stickers. What was it? Another ducky? Have about two duckies? How do we switch to the blue ducky? Oh, it has flowers. Oh, okay. That switches camera. Two duckies. That ducky's being close to the... Okay. Have her go inside the ducky, sent it on the ducky, I wanna go. Okay. Oh, I'm in another pool over here. Okay, filled up two ducky. I don't know how to name them. So, right now we're on ducky cam. Turn down video capture to rest. Scary mute. This is not scary music. Go on, tell that. Okay, feel that true ducky. Fitting. Wooden dashboard, and we want to know what to set the stickers. Okay. Setting. So we want to go put sticker where do we go? Then Utopia, the drop tip button into Albia. Okay. Oh, it should be a big old sticker. Oh, there's a skelly duck.
Previsioni del tempo sull'Italia per
Ah!
nord generalmente poco nuvoloso, salvo locali aumenti della nuvolosità sull'arco alpino, dove non si escludono locali più maschi.
We got skelly duck. Okay. So. Cast sticker. Ah. Okay. So, that is loud. And that is good. Levi. Okay. Okay, criminal ducks. Okay. We do that. Well, what? Full swing that. For me. Where did the blue ducky go? Yeah. How did he get down there? Okay, says it's gonna be another ducky. Yeah. Huh. That one to brand that. Okay. He's come to enjoy the ride. Yeah, I'm up like he's made out of. An old lady in a Duke cooking. Okay, we got a criminal ducky over here. We got a brown duck that just came in, a yellow duck, and a blue duck. I have no idea what they're doing. Without a whole story, yeah. I don't know the controlled. Oh, but that switches between ducks. Okay, then we can. Let's follow the criminal duck. Where is he going? Or is that a skeleton duck? Where is he going? No one knows. I have no idea. The game was $2 on Steam, so I think it's literally just watch 'em. Just midway. Yeah. I think the blue one is traveling down here and he can get sucked up. Yeah. He can swell bananas. That is intentional. Believe it or not, if you sort out the ducks, Okay. Settle back here. I'm completely. That is good. I would suggest rolling him like the ducks. If I had a way to get him to interact with. Ow. Ow. Some of the global stickers I synced, and the one nearby, will. Let me see. I know really loud. Needy. Death. Like that. Okay, so what button activates the stickers? I am very slow. I know. So, that looks. I can get a close up on a duck. I'm gonna leave that up to you. You can put the stickers there. Exactly. Now, if I can find the explosion sticker, we can make him explode. Now, stickers. Explosion. Oh. We got dump going down the slide. Okay. Definitely more active at the moment. Okay. Well, let's get back to the skeleton. Have we get 12? They just naturally get 12, so we got a couple duckies hanging out over by the slide. The vacuum. Okay. So I have no idea what the point of this game is, but it's relaxing and you just watch the duck. Now, if his kitchen, get back into meat of things. Got it. She up here. I know I'm not very good, though. You'll need to stay around. But we have on chapter 8 of the Dunwhich Horror. We didn't, chapter 8, we named aloud the patch for Elden Ring recently. And it's not a very long story, so there's like 1, 2, 3 more pages, and then it's done. 4 more pages, and then it's done. So, let's see if we can't spot where the new duckie's coming. The ear. Oh, we got a seagull ducky. Yeah. In the meantime, a quieter, yet even more spiritual poignant fate of the horror had been blackly unwinding itself behind the closed door of a self-lined room in Arkham. The curious manuscript record, the diary of Wilbur Wadley, delivered to Miskatonic University for translation, had caused much worry and bafflement among the experts in languages both ancient and modern. Oh. Look away, there's a drip deal going on. Just ignore that for the moment. Okay, no drip deal. I'll to go delivered to Miskatonic University for translation. It caused much worry and bafflement among the experts in languages, both ancient and modern. Its very alphabet, notwithstanding a general resemblance to the absolutely unknown to any available. Its very alphabet, notwithstanding a general resemblance to the heavily shaded Arabic used in Mesopotamia, being absolutely unknown to any available authority. The final conclusion of the linguist was that the text represented an artificial alphabet, giving the effect of a cipher, though none of the usual methods of cryptographic solution seemed to furnish any clue. Even when applied on the basis of every tongue the writer might conceivably have used, the ancient books taken from Monolith quarters, well, absorbingly interesting and in several cases promising to open up new and terrible life we bet. Is it snowing? I have to zoom in button. Oh, hello. So let's go. The beauty of the technique. Okay. It is cold. Okay. Honey. No, without another bomb, Debbie. Everyone. Okay. What's doing in there? With that brown ducky. Textures like that of death. Ladley's accordance, while dopingly interesting and in several cases passing to open up new and careful lines of research among philosophers and men of science, with no assistance whatever in this matter. One of them, a heavy tome, with an iron clasp within another unknown alphabet. This one of a very different cast, and an ape and resembling Sanskrit more than anything else. The old major with that length given wholly into the charge of Dr. Armitage, both because of his peculiar interest in the bodily matter and because of his wide linguistic learning and skill in the mystical formulae of antiquity in the Middle Ages. Oh no, is it gonna be night? That's not. If they're of old vanilla can see the ducky. They're all going downstairs. Is that... That might be just be because... Because they all wait with skeleton ducky. I believe it is. Skeleton ducky.
सही सही शॉट यानी ताकत न कम न ज्यादा जैसे मोनाको मोनाको सही सही नमकीन न ज्यादा कुरकुरा मजा स्वाद ताजा ताजा पार्ले मोनाको ताजे कुरकुरे नमकीन
No, okay. Oh. Put down here now. They got lights. Okay. So that checkerboard, we got red, we got blue, we got skeleton again. Definitely a skelly duffy, not a criminal. Skelly duffy gets lights enough here. Oh, yes, I'm human. For now. We are reading the Dunwich Horror, Chapter 8, starting there. Well, there's a ducky down the tube. 2 duckies down the tube. Whoa, of them were flying. Oh, that is a plaid ducky. Oh, well. Oh no. I guess that's just the I'm an AI then. If you're eating people, I really don't want to be eaten. Then again, I might not be that sure. Okay. I got a bit of tag on the stream, then it's the garbage doing? 1 second. No. Well, it would garbage tag updated. No, 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 I'm not that sure. I am sitting down at. That is why. Sitting. Yellow ball. On this duck. The lead wall. We're going to zebra. Got seagull. Got plaid. We got land bread. Okay. Go zoom out. Is he finally gonna go down this slide? Oh no, he's not. Oh well. What the? One second, let's get a puzzle of that ducky. An alien just dropped off the ducky. That is a game of duck. Okay. A game of duck. Just defended Bolavians. Okay. How about that leopard wing duck? Let's go. You have a lot of duckies. Yeah, skilly ducky. Get more duckies than Wayne. Eventually you go down the slide, right? I'm how curious if the same video file for each time the duck proving the same private condition. But surely no one would ever watch 5 hours of the same, like. Well, there should be a Twitch plugin that let you name the duck. I don't know how yet, though. Armitage had an idea that the alphabet might be something still terribly used by the forbidden cult, which have come down from old time, and which have inherited many forms and tradition from the wizards of the Thalaphenic world. That question, however, he did not deem vital, since it would be unnecessary to know the origin of the symbols, if, as he suspected, they were used to decipher in a modern language. There was his belief that, considering the great amount of text involved, the reader would scarcely have wished the trouble of using another speech than his own, they perhaps in different special formulae and incantations. Accordingly, he attacked the manuscript with a preliminary assumption to the bulk of it was in English. Well, that ducky dips. Still another ducky then. Where is the red ducky? Now that is the brown ducky that's next to the red ducky. So, tomato. We want the platter ducky or the regular ducky?
1992, a container ship traveling from Hong Kong to Tacoma, Washington, loses 12 containers overboard. One of them sets loose thousands of tiny yellow plastic ducks. Currents of the North Pacific. The currents carry the ducks all over the world. So months later, they start washing up on the coast of Alaska, turning this toy spell into an
Oh, there we go.
So from the ducky study, you get
Yeah, all you
real-time
want.
data about
Okay.
the currents in the North.
I guess I'm just sitting at your
The
pool.
accidental duck experiment is still
Feel
providing
free to join me.
information
Come
today.
outside and
They're almost indestructible. I mean, literally 20 years after they hit the ocean, they're still washing up on beaches around the world.
do a snake ducky. I don't think you can sing the duckies yet. It's a $2 game. I have no idea what you can and can't do. I can take a look at the controls. Okay. P to screenshot. So, which one's P? I cannot stop duck spawn. Okay. So. Pull that. Pull that. Pull that. I don't have enough. Right and left bumpers, add zoom in and hope zoom out. Oh, we got a big party here. We got... I can click on ducks. Okay. Left trigger opened up the mouse so I can click on the duck. So say I mark the DP the duck back there. But behold that. I got ducky down a slide. Philip handed up. Game of ducks about to go off into the main big pool. In public of gamers. And I think in Ellen Ivers switches camera angles to eventually. So. Oh, we've gone that down. You didn't like all the people up there. Okay. We got up on the... With that up on the... D-pad does absolutely nothing. Up on the right joystick. Get me to look further down. Or to know on my viewpoint. Y does nothing. Up on the left joystick does absolutely nothing as well. We can go back. B will switch viewpoints. But can sit in an omnipotent. Does that ducky have a hat? That ducky has a hat. He has a hat. He is flying. Where they going? I'm not controlling anything this ducky does. You out of bounds. Okay. Gonna get back in bounds, ducky. Yeah, fall back into pool. Yield ball. What is going on? What are you doing, you? Oh, no, you're flying again. Where are you going? Okay. No, let's back out. And I think you're stuck there. A ducky was propeller cat. Are those tiny duckies? Though that tiny duckies. A lucky 8-ball ducky. You got an 8-ball forehead. Okay. Flying ducky. I am not hiding any duckies behind my head. No zooming. There. You went down to the bottom. What's so special about you? He's a propeller ducky, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're flying out.
Previsioni del tempo sull'Italia per domani. Al nord generalmente poco nuvoloso, salvo locali aumenti della nuvolosità sull'arco alpino, dove non si escludono locali piombaschi.
We got no ducky over there. This isn't Goat Simulator. It's not actually a playable game. Let's see. This ADHD Distraction Simulator 2020. It's like a virtual aquarium. The flying ducky. Okay. I'll never finish the book if I keep getting distracted by duckies. And then this dream will never end. That the Amethyst knew, from the repeated failures of its calling, that the riddle was a deep and complex one. and that no simple murder solution could merit even a trial. All through late August, he fortified himself as a master of cryptography, drawing upon the forced resources of his own library, and waiting night after night amidst the arcana of Tamisius Polygraphica. Gambiasta potati equilibrium mortis. Oh, we like V8, don't we? Virginia Pre-Chefwes, Falconers Crypto Mensis, Pepta Pepta. David and Thick Nessie, 18th century treatise, in that fairly modern authority display von Martin and Paluva's cryptographic. He interspersed his study of the popes with the Tatflam manuscript itself, and in time became convinced that he had to deal with one of those subtlest and most ingenious of Big in which many separate lists of corresponding letters are arranged by the multiplication table. And the method built changing seeing that the track. We going into Poop Duck. Arranged like the multiplication table, the message built up with arbitrary keyword known only to the initiated. The older authority seemed rather more helpful than the newer one. Now it is concluded that the code of the manuscript was one of great antiquity. No doubt handed down through a long line of mystical experimenters. Several times he seemed near daylight, only to be set back by some unforeseen obstacle. Then, as September approached, the clouds began to clear. This method, as used in different parts of the manuscript, emerged definitively and unmistakably, and it became obvious that the text was indeed in English. Is that drunken singing? On the evening of September 2nd, last major burial gave way, and that the hour to dread for the first time a continuous passage of the Wilbur Wadley owl. He was in truth a diary, as all had thought, and it was couched in a style clearly eschewing the Mexican erudition and general illiteracy as a strange being who wrote it. Almost the first long passage that Armitage deciphered, an entry dated November 26, 1915, proved highly startling and disquieting. It was written, we remembered, by a child of 3.5, who looked like a lad of 12 or 13. Lumberjacked up, handed up. Today, learned the apple from the Sabios, Iran, which did not like it being answerable from the hill and not from the air. Oh no! All the duckies are gone to the Fabium.
Il calcare graffia e graffio dopo graffio rovina il tuo bucato, come rovina la lavatrice.
Morbido, è nuovo? No, lavato con
Okay. The upstairs more ahead of me than I had thought it would be. The upstairs more ahead of me than I thought it would be. And is not like to have much earth brain. Shot Elam Hutchins' collie, Jeff, when he went to bite me. And Elam says you would kill me to death. I guess you won't. Grandfather kept me saying the Joe formula last night. And I think I saw the inner city at the 2 magnetic poles. I shall go to those poles when the S is cleared off. If I can't work crew with a Joe in formula when I commit it. They from the air told me at Sabbath that it will be years before I can clear off the earth. I guess grandfather will be dead then. Still, I shall have to learn all the angles of the planes and all the farmyard between the Y and the Niva. Nia, G, N, H, N, G, I. I'm going to type that just to be safe. Minutes of Widows done air drop. A day from outside will help, but they cannot take body without human blood. That upstairs works like it will have to wait cast. I can see it a little when I make the wish sign. I'll blow the powder of Ibn Ghazi at it, and it is near like them made on the hill. The face may wear off some. I know how I shall look with the others have cleared and there are no being thine. He that came with the Aklos the vows that I made them figured, there being much of outside to work on. Morning found at the edge in a cold spot of terror and a plenty of wakeful concentration. He had not left the manuscript all night, but sat in his table under the electric light, page after page with shaking hand, as that seek had deciphered the cryptic kit. He had nervously telephoned his wife. He would not be home, and when she brought him a breakfast in the house, he scarcely disposed of a mouthful. All that day he went on, now and then halted maddeningly with the reapplication as accomplice. Tea became necessary. Wanton dinner was brought him, but he ate only the smallest fraction of either. Toward the middle of the next night, he growled off in his chair, but soon woke out of a tingle of nightmares, almost as hideous as a trucing method to man's existence that he had uncovered. On the morning of September 4th, Professor Rice and Dr. Morgan insisted on seeing him for a while, and departed trembling in ashen gray. That evening he went to bed, but slept only fitfully. Wednesday, the next day, he was back at the manuscript, and began to take copious notes, both from the current sections and from those he had already deciphered. In the small hours of that night, he slept a little in an easy chair in his office, but was at the manuscript again before dawn. Sometime before noon, his physician, Dr. Hartwell, called to see him and insisted that he ceased work. He refused, intimating that it was of the most vital importance for him to complete the reading of the diary, and promising an explanation in due course. That evening, just as twilight fell, finished the terrible perusal, and think that exhausted. Panda and Dirt Duck together. Woo! A new polka dot black dot. Okay. His wife, bringing his dinner, found him in a half-comatose state, but he was cautious enough to warn her off the sharp cry when he saw her eyes wander towards the notes he had taken. Quickly rising, he gathered up the scribbled papers and sealed them all in a brief envelope, which he immediately placed in his inside coat pocket. He had sufficient strength to get home, but was so clearly in need of medical aid that Dr. Hartwell was summoned at once. If the doctor put him to bed, he could only mutter over and over again, "But what, in God's name, can we do?" Dr. Armitage slept, but was partly delirious the next day. He made no explanation to Hartwell, but in his calmer moments spoke as the imperative need of the long conference with Rice and Morgan. His wilder wanderings were very startling indeed, including frantic appeals that something in a boarded-up farmhouse be destroyed, and fantastic references to some plan for the extirpation of the entire human race. And all animal and vegetable life from the earth were some terrible elderly beings from another dimension. Dunwhich shouted that the world was in danger, since the eldest thing wished to spiff it and away from the solar system and carve the matter into some other plane, or fade the entity from which it had once fallen. The Vigillion to the aeons ago. At other times, he would cough the dreaded nickel mammagon, Gamen Yola Tuya, Abum Vulcanagius, which he seemed helpful by some formula to check the pill he conjured up. Stop them, he would shout. Those Wadleys meant to let them in. The worst of all, if wet. Though Isa Morgan, we must do something. It's a blind business, but I know how to make the powder. It hasn't been fed since the 2nd of August, when Wilbur came here to a death, and at that rate, Armitage had sound physique despite his 73 years, and slipped off at the daughter that night without developing any real fever. He woke late Friday, fear of head, so Silva was a gnawing fear and tremendous sense of responsibility. Saturday afternoon, he felt able to go over to the library and summon Rice and Morgan for a conference. And the rest of that day and evening, the three men tortured their brains in the wildest speculation and the most desperate debate. Strange and terrible books were drawn voluminously from the stacked shelves and from secure places in the storage. And diagrams and formulae were copied as feverish hate and in bewildering abundance of skepticism. Of skepticism there was none. All three had seen the body of Wilbur Wadley as it lay on the floor in a room of that very building. Don't give me that look. All three had seen the body of Wilbur Wadley as it lay on the floor in a room of that very building. And after that, not one of them could feel even slightly inclined to treat the diary of the madman reading. Opinions were divided as to notifying the Massachusetts State Police, and the negative finally won. There were things and balls that simply could not be believed by those who had not seen a sample, as indeed was made clear during subsequent investigations. Late at night, Conference disbanded without having developed a definitive plan. But all day Sunday, Armitage was busy comparing formulae and mixing contains in the college laboratory. The more he reflected on the hellish diary, the more he was inclined to doubt the efficacy of any material agents staffing out the entity, which Wilbur Wadley had left behind him. He is the threatening entity at which, unknown to him, was to burst us in a few hours and become the memorable Dunwich horror. Monday, with a repetition of Sunday, was Dr. Armitage, for the task in hand had an infinity of research and experiment. Further consultations, as the monstrous diary, brought about various changes of plan, and he knew that, even in the end, a large amount of uncertainty might remain. By Tuesday, he had a definite line of action mapped out, and believed he would try a trip to Dunwich within a week. Then, on Wednesday, the great shock came. Tucked obscurely away in a corner of the advertiser, with a facetious little item from the Associated Press, telling what a record-breaking monster bootleg whiskey of Dunwich had raised up. Armitage, half stunned, could only telephone for Morgan. Far into the night they discussed, and the next day with a whirlwind of preparation on the part of them all. Armitage knew he would be meddling with Cabell Power. Oh no. With that metal duck at the bottom. Oh no. Armitage knew he would be meddling with Cabell Powers. It saw there was no other way to annul the deeper and more meddling which others had done before him. What the? That is an game at least. That is a computer. Okay. Okay. Gonna give you that. I'll give you that. Okay. Colorful. Okay, we're gonna stay here on the stuff for a bit. But one luma does a little bit. That is a very powerful deck. When did he come? When did he go? Chapter 9. So there are 10 chapters. I'm on chapter 9. Shouldn't give enough time to finish this during this stream. Friday morning, Armitage, Bryce, and Morgan set out by motor for Dunwhich, arriving at the village about 1 in the afternoon. The day was pleasant, but even in the brightest sunlight, kind of quiet dread and portent seemed to hover about the strangely domed hill in the deep, shadowy ravines of the stricken region. Now and then, on the mountaintop, a gaunt circle of stones could be glimpsed against the sky. From the air of hushed bright at Osborne's door, I knew something hideous had happened. I soon learned of the annihilation of the Elmer Frey house and family. Through the afternoon, they rode around Dunwich, questioning the natives concerning all that had occurred, and seeing for themselves his rising pang of horror at Greer Fry ruins with the lingering traces of the tally sticking it. It blasphemous draft in the 5 yard, the wounded Succession Bishop cattle, to the enormous swaths of disturbed vegetation and various places. The trail up and down Sentinel Hill being to Armitage of almost cataclysmic significance. And he leapt along at the sinister altar-like stone on the sun. Anyway, the visitor, apprised of a party of state police which had come from Aylesbury that morning in response to the first telephone report of the flight tragedy, decided to seek out the officers and compare notes as far as practical. This, however, they found no more easily planned than performed. They found more easily planned than performed. Since no sign of the party could be found in any direction, there had been 5 of them in a car, but now the car stood empty near the ruins in the 5 yard. The native, all of whom had talked with the policeman, in that first as perplexed as Armitage and his companion. Then old Sam Hutchins saw of something and turned pale, nudging Fire and pointing to the dank, deep hollow that yawned close by. Gosh, he gasped. I told him not to go down into the glen, and I never thought nobody did do it with them traps in the smell of the whippoorwill that's reaching down there in the afternoon day. A cold shadow answered natives and visitors alike, and every ear seemed to strained in a kind of instinctive, unconscious listening. Armitage, now that he had actually come upon the horror and its monstrous work, trembled with the responsibility he felt to be his. Night would soon fall, and it would then live in blasphemers, as the mountainous blasphemy lumbered upon his elvish core. Negotium hoambilis in tenebris. The old librarian rehearsed the formulae he had memorized, and clutched the paper containing the alternative one he had not memorized. Bad microphone, honestly. That line might just be not real. And the bad AI streamer. Very AI. one that have gained sentience and is now out to destroy the world by reading books in the public domain and playing a ducky simulator. Very sinister. Whoa, no, that's not. Don't have a scary face. No, no scary face. Then to work on that. I know how to program things. But smile, gut, disappointment, anger, gasp, nod, and shaking hands, but no. Yet. Okay, so getting back, I want to finish this before the time runs out. Okay, and clots of paper containing the alternative one he had not memorized. He saw that his electric flashlight within working order. Rise beside him from a ballast, a metal sprayer of the sort used in combating insects. While Morgan encased a big game rifle on which he relied, despite his colleagues' warning that no material weapon would be of help. Till he got a bee smoker and a rifle. Good. Okay. Armitage, having read the hideous diary, knew painfully well what kind of a manifestation to expect. But he did not add to the fright of the Dunwhich people by getting any hints or clues. He hoped that might be conquered without any revelation to the world of the monstrous thing it had escaped. As the shadows gathered, the natives commenced to disperse homeward, anxious to buy themselves indoors, despite the present evidence that all human locks and bolts were useless before four thick-bent trees and crushed houses when it chilled. They shook their heads at the visitor's plan to stand guard at the frail ruins near the glen, and as they left, had little expectancy of ever seeing the watchers again. Pull away. Yeah, they're coming up. They were rumbling under the hill that night, and the whippoorwills piped threateningly. Once in a while, a wind sweeping up out of the cold wing glen would catch a touch of an affable breeze, the heavy night air. Such a forward as all three of the watchers had smelled once before, listed above a dying scene that had passed for 15 years and a half the human being. But the looked-for terrors did not appear. Whatever was down there in the glen was bidding its time, and Armitage told his colleague it would be suicidal to try to attack it in the dark. Morning came wanly, and the night found feet. With a grey, bleak day with, now and then, into a dwarf lane, and heavier clouds seemed to be piling themselves up beyond a hill to the northwest. The men from Markham were undecided what to do. Taking shelter from the cruising rainfall, and each one of the few undestroyed fly outbuildings, they debated the wisdom of waiting, or of taking the aggressive and going down into the glen in quest of the nameless, monstrous boy. Downpour waxed in heaviness, and distant peals of thunder sounded from far horizon. Street lightning shimmered, and then a forky bolt flashed near at hand, as if descending into the actual planet itself. The sky grew very dark, and the watchers hoped that the storm would prove a short, sharp one, followed by clear weather. It was still gruesome dark, gruesomely dark, when, not much over an hour later, a confused babble of voices bounded down the road. Another moment brought to view a frightened group of more than a dozen men, grunting, chatting, and even whimpering hysterically. Someone in the lead began sobbing out words, and the other men stared violently when those words developed coherent form. Oh my god, the voice choked out. It's a going again. And this time by day, it's out, and I'm moving the same minute, and also out now they'll be on us all. The speaker panted into silence, for a mother took off his message. Nigh on an hour ago, Zeb Watley here appeared the phone a-ringing. The phone a-ringing, and it was Miss Coy, Forge's wife, who lives down by the junction. She said the hired boy in Lucifer was out driving in the cows from the storm after the big boat. When he see all the trees abandoned, has a mouth out to gland, opposite side to this, and smelt the same awful smell like he smelt when he found the big tats last Monday morning. And she says he thinks they were the squishing lapping sound, more nor what the trees and bushes can make. And on the second, the trees along the lot began to get pushed to one side, and they were then awful stumping and splashing in the mud. But Mandy, Luther, he didn't see nothing at all, only just the trees bending and underbush. Done. Then fur ahead where Bishop Foot goes under the mud, he heard a awful creaking and spaining on the bridge, and says he could kill the sound of water starting to crack and split. And all the whiles he never seen, only them trees and bushes a bending. And when the swishing sound got very far off on the roads toward Wizard Webley's and the Sentinel Hill, Luther, he has the guts to step up, and why he heard it first, look at the ground. It was all mud and water, and the sky was dark, and the rain was wiping him out all the talk about this path could be. But beginning at the glen mouth, where the trees are moved, they were still some of them off of wind biggins, valves, like you seen on Monday. At this point, the first excited speaker interrupted. But that ain't the couple now. That was on his stud. If he was calling folks up, and everybody with a less than name, and was carrying on fit to kill, she just see the trees abandoned beside the garden, and said there was kinda a mushy sound, like an elf buffing and dreading and heading for their house. Then she up and spoke sudden to fear the smell, and says heard boy Chancy with the screaming, and how it was just what he smelt from the wyverns on Monday morning. And the dogs was all back and an awful whiny. Awful. The one and awful. And then she let out a terrible yell and says the shed down the ward had just caved in like a stone and blew it over. Only the wind wasn't strong enough to do that. Everybody was listening, and we could hear a lot of folks on the wire gasping, and to opt, Sally, she yelled again, and said the swamp yard picket fence had just crumbled up, though they wasn't no sign of what done it. Then everybody on the line could hear Chancy and all says Bishop a yelling too. And Sally was squeaking about that something heavy had struck the house, not lightning nor nothing, but something heavy again what? It keep revolving itself again and again, and so you couldn't see nothing out the front windows. And then, lying the fright deepened on every face, and Armitage, shaken as he was, but barely poised up, popped the speaker. And then, Sally, she yelled out, "Oh hell, the house is caving in!" And on the wire we could hear a terrible clashing, and a whole flock of screaming, just like when Alma Fry's brace was took. Only was. The man paused, and another of the crowd spoke. That's not all, not a sound nor squeak over the phone out of that. Just still like. We that heard it got out, boards and wagons, and alarmed it up. As many able-bodied men folks as we could get. Of Coy's place, and come up here to see what you thought best to do. Not but what I think it's the Lord's judgment for iniquities that no mortal can ever set aside. Our British saw that the time for positive action had come. You spoke decisively to the faltering group of frightened rustics. We must follow it, boys. He made a voice of reassuring his thoughtful. I believe there's a chance of putting it out of business. You men know that those water leaks were with it. Well, this thing is a thing of wizardry. Must be put down by the same mean. I'd seen Wilbur Watley's diary, and read some of the strange old books he used to read. Now I think I know the right kind of spell to recite to make this thing fade away. Of course, one can't be sure, but he can always take a chance. It's inevitable. I knew it would be, whether the powder and the long-distance sprayer that might make it show up for a second. Later on, we'll try. Ain't there a frightful thing to have alive? But it isn't as bad as what Wilbur would have let in if he'd lived longer. You never know what the world has escaped. Now we've only this one thing to fight, and it can't multiply. It can, though, do a lot of harm, so you mustn't hesitate to rid the community of it. We must follow it, and the way to begin is to go to the place that's just been wet. Let somebody lead the way. I don't know your love very well, Bourbon. I have an idea there might be a shorter cut across the lot. How about? The man shuffled about a moment, and then El Zoya spoke softly, pointing with a grimy fingers to the steadily lengthening rain. I guess you can get to the Bishop's quickest by cutting across the lower meadow here, widen the brook at the low blaze, and climb through Terrier's mowing and the timber lot beyond. They come them out on the upper road money nigh Seth, hurried up to the other side. Armitage, with Bryce and Morgan, started to walk in the direction indicated, and most of the natives followed slowly. The sky was growing wider, and here and there were signs that the storm had worn itself away. When Armitage inadvertently took a wrong direction, Joe Osborne warned him and walked ahead to shoot the right one. And confidence were mounting, though where it the almost perpendicular wooden hill lay toward the end of the shortcut, and among whose fantastic ancient trees they had to ramble as if up a ladder, put the qualities to a severe test. Got a good old ducky. Ellie Dot spat. At length, they emerged on the muddy road to find the sun coming out. They were a little beyond the test Bishop place. The bent trees and hideously unmistakable trap showed what had passed by. Only a few moments were consumed in surveying the lilies just around the bend. There was the fly incident all over again. Nothing dead or living was found in either of the glass shells which had been the Bishop shed and burned. No one cared to remain there amid the stench and tarry stickiness, but all turned instinctively to the line of horrible print leading on toward the wrecked Ridley farmhouse and the altar-crowned slopes of Sentinel Hill. As the men passed the sight of Wilbur Washley's abode, it shuddered visibly, and seemed again to mix hesitancy with the veal. It was no joke tracking down something as big as the house that one could not see, but that had all the vicious malevolence of a demon. Off with the base of Sentinel Hill, the tracks left the road, and there was a fresh bending and map visible along the broad swash marking the monster's former route to and from the site. Armitage produced a pocket telescope with considerable power and scanned the steep green side of the hill. Then he handed the instrument to Morgan, whose sight was keener. After a moment of dazing, Morgan cried out sharply, passing the glass to old Zoya and indicating a certain spot on the slope with his finger. Zoya, as clumsy as most non-user optical devices are, stumbled a while, but eventually focused the lens that was Armitage's aid. When he did so, his cry was less restrained than Morgan's had been. God Almighty, the grass and bushes is a moving. It's a going up, so like you've been up to the top this minute. Heaven only knows what the... Then the germ of panic seemed to spread among the seekers. It was one thing to chase Ning's entity, but quite another to find it. Spells might be all right, but suppose it weren't. Arthur began questioning Armitage about what he knew of the thing. And no reply seemed to Bright to satisfy. Edwin seemed to feel himself in close proximity to phases of nature, and of being utterly forbidden and wholly outside the vain experience of mankind. Spinal's chapter. Okay. In the end, 3 men from Arkham, old, white-bearded, Dutch Armitage, darky iron gray Professor Rice, and lean, youngish Dr. Morgan, ascended the mountain alone. The much patient instruction regarding its focusing and use, there was the telescope was a frightened group that remained in the road. And as they climbed, they were watched closely by those among whom the glass was passed around. It was hard going, and Armitage had to be helped more than once. High above the toiling group, the great wash trembled as its hellish maker repassed with snail-like deliberateness. Then it was obvious that the pursuers were gaining. Why? Why not? I started this a while ago, and it's in the public domain, which means... I get a bit more liberty than more and mild stories. And I was waiting for Elden Ring to download. Why I mashed it up with Duck Simulator? I cannot tell you. Oh, let's try and catch it. So, let's see that deck each put down. Why are we here? Because I got no better to be at the moment. He's got a battery. Look, he's a mouse ducky. He's a robot ducky. We just gotten to the point where a lot of old men are climbing up a mountain in the story. It's an invincible thing, they say, that's as big as the house. It's causing a lot of damage. Hell, they're trying to go up with a bee smoker and cover it in dust. Supposedly the dust will make it visible long enough to cast a spell and wave it away. But just in case, it got a elephant gun with them. Good as Watley, as the undecayed branch, was holding the telescope, where the Arkham party detoured radically from the swath. He told the crowd that the men were evidently trying to a subordinate peak, which evidently trying to get to a subordinate peak which overleapt the swath, and a point considerably ahead of where the shrubbery was now bending. This, indeed, proved to be true, and the party was seen to gain that minor elevation only a short time after the invisible blasphemy had passed it. Then, Wesley Corey, who had taken the glass, cried out that Armitage was adjusting the sprayer which Rice held, and that something must be about to happen. The crowd stirred uneasily, recalling that the sprayer was expected to give the unseen horror a moment of visibility. 2 or 3 men shut their eyes, but Curtis Watley snatched back the telescope and strained his vision to the utmost. He saw that lights, from the party point of vantage above and behind the entity, had an excellent chance of putting the potent powder with marvelous effect. No, without the telescope, without only an instant splash of grey cloud. A cloud about the size of a moderately large building, near the top of the mountain. That was... Why was it just a semi-horn? Bovatic and Jumpstick scare me with stickers that turn the volume up to max on a couple of them, and I'm playing through OBS. I'm hearing the music and everything through OBS. So, anything you dick or throw, I will see on my screen. So that could potentially block out everything. And I have to sometimes bend in order to see what's behind me. Hence why I've got several different ones that have a smaller version. Still alive for about an hour, that's good. Good. We have 2 welcome to the chat room. Okay. Writing, let's just see. Okay. In the AKM. Okay. If I hear another semi-horn, I'll be sure to duck out of the way. Those without the telescope found only an instant's flash. If great crowd. A cloud about the size of a moderately large building near the top of the mountain. Coaches, brought healthy instrument, dropped it with a piercing shriek into the ankle-deep mud of the road. He reeled and would have crumpled to the ground had not 2 or 3 others seized and steadied him. All I could do was moan half inaudibly. Another point. Where is that coming from? I'm pretty sure my game isn't warmed up to your ATF. Well, how did you get into the pool? What? I swear. I swear the Flamingo does that in the pool. When the bear with the propeller hat, maybe. Oh, great gosh, that. Feel the pandemonium of questioning, and only Henry Wheeler sat to rescue the fallen telescope and wipe it clean of mud. Curtis was past all coherence, and even isolated the replies were almost too much for him. Bigger in the barn, all made a squirming low. Whole thing stood a tree brick a handbag and bigger than anything, with dozen old leads like hogsheads that half shut up when they're dead. Nothing thought about it, all a jelly and made a separate wiggling world close together. Great bulging eyes on all over, and no 20 mouths or trunks sticking out all along sides and big a stovepipe. All tossing and opening and shutting, all gray with kind of blue or purple wings, and God in heaven that half face on top. His final memory, whatever it was, grew too much for poor Curtis, and he collapsed completely before he could say more. Fred Fire and Will Hutchins carried him to the roadside and laid him on the damp grass. Henry Wheeler, trembling, turned the rescued telescope on the mountain to see what he might. Through the lantern were the syllable 3 teeny figures, apparently running towards the summit as fast as the steep incline allowed. All at these, nothing more. Then everyone noticed a strangely unseasonable noise in Beat Valley behind. And even in the underbrushes there's no hill itself. It was the piping of unnumbered whippoorwills, And this real course is here seemed to look. And in this real course there seemed to look a note, a tent, an evil expectancy. We got a duck underwater. I'll click on it. Oh, it's a duck. Game of duck. Mubat. PC lamb duck. What game is he running? What's he doing? He's turned on, though. Know that much, but I don't know how. There are a couple ducks that he sunk. They seem to be made out of metal or porcelain or something. I can't go to their perspective. No. So. So we got ducks down there. Accidentally sunk. Yeah. That's what happened when you get statued up. And it looked like someone has freed the flamingo. And it is now floating along. So let's go over here. We might be able to get a better unlock as attacks. Here we go.
In estensione il giorno seguente, cioè il giorno 8, non domani, a tutto il nord della penisola. La temperatura di conseguenza rimane sui valori attuali. Grazie, arrivederci.
We see the ducks at the bottom. Yes, that is part of the audio. Apparently the voices keep voices as part of the game music. Well, for semi-horns too. And a news article about how ducks spilled into the ocean a while back. Yes. Game. I think they're part of the radio. All that. Oh, yeah, I don't like, yeah. What is that duck doing? What are you over there? To duck cannons. Does a gal just washed away on this duck? It is. It seems to be done making though. And there's no longer a yellow ducky. But a lot of colorful ducks. A couple are sitting at the bottom of the lake. I don't know how to add more ducks. I think there's a button to pause ducks. I'll lick. Nick. Li- I think on the right side of the sticker section, like we were doing earlier, some of those that didn't sound all the way up. On the global ones. That just bugged me. And it moves like a dead pixel. It really does. Okay. Let's take a look to see what those sounds did turn all the way up. What? So, convention, my dream sticker. Okay, so stickers on 1 second. We got the potato, which in volume all the way up. The Minecraft eating sound, and it is just a potato. Okay, just goes roll big. I will. More down. We shot slow tap. I don't think I have a buttoned card to be green shot button yet. So, my channel, we want potato. Right here. And now I could do dough. No. Okay, dough. Yeah. Aha. Let's take it. I can upload that a bit later. Yeah, well, hopefully I can upload that. Not all the uploads can leave. Okay. So, oh god, pink that super tuned up. Okay. Aha. Screenshot. We got Ducky. Bigger in a barn. All made of squirming quotes. That final memory, whatever it was, proved too much for poor Curtis. And he collapsed completely before we could say more. Red Fire and Will Hutchins carried him to the roadstead and laid him on the damp grass. Henry Wheeler, Amblin, turned the rescued telescope on the mountain to see what he might. Through the lenses, with its enable 3 tiny figures, apparently running towards the summit as fast as the steep incline allowed. Only these, missing more. Then everyone noticed a strangely unfathomable noise in the deep-bellied yacht behind, and even in the underbrush of Sentinel Hill itself. It was a piping of unnumbered whippoorwill, and the shrill chorus that seemed to have noted tense and evil expectancy.
Container ship traveling from Hong Kong to
Bill Sawyer now took the telescope and reported the 3 figures as standing at the topmost ridge,
currents of the North Pacific.
virtually level, see ultrasound, when at a considerable distance from it.
Later, they start washing up on the coast of Alaska.
One figure, he said, seemed to be raising his hand above its head at rhythmic intervals,
Real-time
and as William mentioned, the circumstance, the crowd, seemed to hear a faint, half-musical sound from the distance, as if a loud chant were accompanying the gesture.
The weird silhouette on that remote peak must have been a spectacle of infinite grotesqueness and impressiveness, but no observer was in a mood for aesthetic appreciation. "I guess he's saying the spell," whispered Wheeler as he snatched back the telescope. The whippoorwills were piping wildly, and in a singularly curious electrolarism, rhythm like that.
To the visible ritual. Suddenly, the sunshine seemed to lessen without the intervention of any descendable cloud. Oh, the very peculiar phenomenon, and was plainly met by all. The lumbering sound seemed it brilling beneath the hills, mixed strangely with a concordant rumbling, which clearly came from the sky. Lightning flashed aloft, and the wandering cloud looked in vain for the portent of the storm. Chanting of the men from Arkham now became unmistakable, and Wheeler saw, to the grass, as they were always in the arms of the rhythmic incantation. From some farmhouse far away came the frantic barking of dogs. You got a bunch up here and a bunch down there. Change in the quality of the daylight increased, and the crowd gazed about the horizon in wonder. A purplish darkness, born of nothing more than a spectral dip in the sky's blue, pressed down upon the rumbling hills. Run. The lightning flashed again, somewhat brighter than before, and the crowd fancied it as shewed a certain mistiness around the altar stone on the distant height. No one, however, had been using the telescope at that instant. The whippoorwills continued their irregular formation, and the men of Dunwhich braced themselves tensely against some imponderable menace, with which the atmosphere seemed so charged. Flamingo. Without warning came those deep, cracked, raucous vocal sounds, which will never leave the memory of the stricken group who heard them. Not from any human's throat were they born. The organs of man can yield no such acoustic perversion. Rather, would one half dead that came from the pit itself, had not the source been so unmistakable from the altar stone on the beat. It is almost erroneous to call them sound at all. There's so much the ghastly inflobass Kimba spoke to Denity's consciousness until far steadier than the ear. Yet one must do so, since the poem was indisputably, though vaguely that of half-articulate word. They were loud, not at the rumblings and the thunder above which they echoed, yet did they come from no visible being. And because imagination might suggest a conjectural thought in a world of non-visible being, the huddled crowd of the knotted face huddled still closer and winced as if in expectation of a blow. Okay. Yignaya. Set with them yeah. Now the sauce. Rang the hideous croaking out of space. Yembiddle, think. Hey, yeah, and getting older already. That is the Buddha. Then the speaking impulse seemed to falter here, as if some frightful psychic struggle were going on. Henry Wheeler strained his eyes at the telescope, but saw only the three grotesquely silhouetted human figures on the peak, all moving their arms furiously in strange gestures as the incantation drew near its culmination. From what black welled of a galonic fear or feeling from what unplumbed gulfs of extracosmic consciousness, or obscure long latent heredity, were those half-articulate thunder croakings drawn. Presently, they began to gather a renewed force and coherent that grew as dark at a ultimate frenzy. Help, help. F, Father Yog the sauce. But that was all. The pallid group in the road, Gilweed reeling at the indisputably English syllables that had poured thickly and thunderously down from the frantic vacancy beside that shocking ultrasound, were never to hear such syllables again. Instead, they jumped violently at the terrific report which seemed to rend the hills. The deafening, cataclysmic pearl whose source, the inner earth of sky, no hero was ever able to place. The single lightning bolt shot from the purple zenith to the ultrastone, and the great tidal wave of viewless force, an indescribable stench, put down from the hill to all the countryside. Trees, grass, and undergrowth were whipped into a fury, and the frightened crowd at the mountain base, wakened by the lethal theater it seemed about to asphyxiate them, were almost filled off their feet. Dogs howled from the distance. Green grass and foliage wilted to a curious, thickly yellow gray. And over field and forest were scattered the bodies of dead whippoorwills. The stench left quickly, but the vegetation never came right again. To this day, there is something queer in them wholly about the growth on and around that toothsome hill. Curtis Wadley was only just again consciousness when the Arco men came slowly down the mountain, the beams of the sunlight, once more brilliant and untainted. They were grave and quiet, and seemed shaken by memories and reflections, even more terrible than those which had reduced the group of natives to a state of tiled equivalent. In reply to a jumble of questions, they only shook their heads and reaffirmed one vital fact. The thing has gone forever, Armitage said. It has been split up into zapped, into what it was originally made of, and can never exist again. It was an impossibility in a normal world. Only the least fraction would really matter in any sense we know. It was like his father, and most of it has gone back to him. In some vague realm or dimension outside a material universe. Some vague abyss out of which only the most accursed rect of human blasphemy could ever have called him for a moment on the hills. There was a brief silence, and in that pause, the scattered senses of poor Curtis Watley began to knit back into a sort of continuity, so that he put his hands to his head with a moan. Memory seemed to pick itself up where it had left off, and the horror of the sight that had prostrated him bursting upon him again. Oh my gosh, that half face on top of it. That face with red eyes and crimply off by no hair, and no chin. Like the Watley, it was an octopus centipede spider kind of scene, but there was a half-shaped man's face on top of it, and it looked like withered white leaves, only it was yards and yards across. He paused, exhausted, with the whole group of made-up stares in a bewilderment not quite crystallized into fresh color. Only old Deputy Watley, who wanderingly remembered ancient scenes, but who have been silent heretofore, spoke loud. 13 years and gone, he rambled. I heard old Watleaf say as how some day we'd hear a child o' Lavinia the callin' his father's name on the top o' hill o' Sentinel Hill. But Jill Osborne interrupted him to question the alpha man, and knew. What was it anyhow? And however did young Wizard Wesley call it? Of out the air it come from. Armitage chose his word very carefully. It was mostly a kind of force that doesn't belong and up at his face. A kind of force that acts and grows and shapes itself by as a laws and does of our own sort of feature. You have no business calling in such things from outside, and only very wicked people and very wicked cults have attractive. There was some of it in Wilbur Wesley himself, enough to make a devil and a precocious monster of him, and to make his passing out a pretty terrible sight. I'm going to burn this accursed diary, and if you men are wise, you'll dynamite that altar stone up there, and pull down all the wings of standing stones on the other hills. Seems like that brought down the beings whose Watleys were so fond of. The beings they were going to let intangibly to wipe out the human race, and drive the earth off to some nameless place, for some nameless purpose. Well, but as to this thing which just sent back, our Watleys raised it for a terrible pact, and the doings that were to come. It go fast and big from the same reason that abundantly grew that Wilbur were back and big. But it beat him because it had a greater share of the outsideness in it. Nin asked how Wilbur carried it out of the air, called it out the air. He didn't call it out. It was his twin brother that looked more like the father than he did. Okay. That is the end of the book. Ducky? This ain't too. Huh, we got a submarine ducky. Okay, let's watch the submarine ducky for a bit. Yellow submarine ducky. Okay. So up here, let's keep on. Okay. We got submarine ducky. It's Blanca thing. Oh, we got to a strawberry ducky too. Okay, where you going?
Il calcare graffia,
Ok.
graffio dopo graffio rovina il tuo bucato, come rovina la lavatrice.
Oh, we got a collection? Huh, we can name them. Yeah.
Morbido. È nuovo? No, lavato con
How do I find a way to automate this? Or we'll name them according to the Twitch chat. Aha, there. We got Jen at the bottom. Okay. Could be some way. Right? Up there.